So as we go forward now into this way of being open to changes within ourselves through the decisions that we make, the selections we make, and our new awareness that we can do this for ourselves and we can give this to ourselves. We can gift ourselves every day of our lives. We can gift ourselves. Now, when you go to Eric Butterworth's book called, that life is for living, it's a very simple title, Life is for Living. He reminds us there that our natural way of being, our natural human condition is to be healthy. That's our natural human condition. And if we're not experiencing that to the extent that we could, we're not living according to our natural way of being. He says that life favors health and has nothing to do with sickness or deterioration. Its bias is toward healthful living. And to live fully is to live healthfully. That's what he says in this wonderful little book that I've ordered copies of, because we'll be studying that book now for the upcoming Sundays. And it's a good opportunity for you and for me to get back into the realization and back into the awareness that each and every one of us has been given the gift of spiritual healing. Each and every one of us has within us the gift of spiritual healing, without exception. No one's left out. And when you and I can get in touch with that, we can move through our challenges, our physical challenges, whatever they might be, or mental challenges, or emotional challenges, or spiritual challenges. We can move through those challenges, we can grow through those challenges, and then move deeper into living our lives fully. That's what we can do. It's given to you and it's given to me. It truly is. Now, today we're looking at the fact of whether or not we truly believe that within us there is this natural tendency toward healing. There is this spiritual gift of healing within us all, whether we believe that or not. Eric Butterworth says that we are far too complacent around illness and far too timid around accepting our wholeness. And that the weight of our focus and our belief is on illness rather than on wholeness. And so it's a wake-up call for us all today to see where we are with that in our own lives, how we do with that in our own lives. And so we go ahead knowing that indeed healing is not just possible, but it's natural to us. It's natural to us, whatever the nature of the healing is. Because there is an active principle of living, of life, of being within us that does the healing anyway. You don't have to do it, and I don't have to do it. And yet, we talk like that all the time. I have to do this. I have to move through this. I have to get on the other side of this. I have to. And if I'm talking in terms of I am, that's beautiful. But if I'm talking in terms of me do it, me has to do it, then I'm in trouble because me can't do it. It's okay to know that the me of me cannot do much of anything. That's a very good thing to know. But I can step out of the way of my great I amness and allow that intuitive, infinite intelligence, that principle of life within me, to do its work unhindered by my fearful thoughts, my doubting feelings, and so on. If I can get that out of the equation, all is well. So simply today, my dear ones, it's just about, do you trust the power and the presence within you? Do you trust that active principle at work within you? Do you really have faith in it, and do you really believe that this is so? That you're not just you, your small egoic self. You are so much more than your small egoic self, and so am I. Thank goodness that we are more than our small selves. And to heal naturally and spiritually, we get in touch with that power and that presence within us. And then as we do, we relax. We release the angst around it, and we say, thanks be to God, I don't have to do this. There is something mightier than I, if I get out of its way, can do it. And when I come to that, I come to peace. And it's out of peace of mind and relaxation that mending, fixing, and healing occurs, the more wonderfully and quickly. I can't be jumping into faith and out of faith in a situation like this. When a serious challenge of any kind crosses my path, I have to really put my hands on my hips and know, you know what? This is not bigger than the power and the presence and the active principle of infinite intelligence within me. It's not. Nothing is. So if I can just understand that I'm not in this alone and I don't have to do this myself, then I can go forward and have whatever treatment I decide on. Now, when it comes to treatments, there's no particular great way or best way for any one of us, except the way that I am divinely inspired to move ahead. It matters not how my healing comes, whether my healing is through meditation or medication, through the prayer or through the pill. It doesn't matter. It's all infinite intelligence anyway. It doesn't matter. The course I choose matters not. It's the disposition I select and choose that matters greatly. And so I can go forward with regard to traditional medical treatment, or I can go into natural treatment, or I can use a combination of both. I can go the medical route supported by the natural route. But whatever way I choose, I need to be absolutely certain I'm totally at peace in it, and there's not a shadow of fear in it. I am totally confident, and I have absolute faith in this creative principle within me that can do its work through me when I'm not messing it up through my toxic negativity in mind and my angst in feeling, you see. So the way to live a healthy life, of course, is to keep your mind and to keep your emotion really fluffed up, really in a state of equilibrium, and not being sucked into negativity of any kind. It's the way to do it. Now, if you go to the greatest healer in history yet, the master teacher Jesus, you look at how he proceeded. And his assisting people to heal was based on two things: faith and forgiveness. Faith and forgiveness. Got to have the faith. Got to have the faith. Now, he had faith, absolute faith, unequivocal faith in this active principle, this infinite intelligence, this Father within him that he knew did the work. No doubt in the mind of Jesus, the Christed one. It's not me that does it. It is the power and the presence of Spirit within me that does the work. I of myself can do nothing. The Father within me does the work. The Father being that principle of healing, that infinite intuitive intelligence that can do it unimpeded by you and by me. But we have, as Troer tells us, we have choice, selection, and initiative. And it's up to us which way we go. We have choice, selection, initiative. And if we choose on the affirmative side of life, on the side of life, all is well. If we're choosing on the side of lack of faith and doubt and so on, well, we're in a little bit of trouble here if we want to truly heal. But when we say we want to heal, we want to truly mean the healing is what we want. Now, very often we get addicted to whatever it is that's ailing us. We get addicted to our illness very often. And that's because there's some payoff in it. There's some payoff to that illness, whatever it is. Maybe I'm getting more attention or whatever that, and that sounds crazy. Who the heck wants to be sick just to get attention? It's not a conscious thing. It's not a conscious thing. So that's why mindfulness is always called forth from us, so that we know exactly where we are, what we're thinking, and what that's leading us into experiencing, and what we're doing, and what we can do about anything. So the faith factor is very important. Jesus had faith in himself, the great self of himself, and the power and the presence within him, and he had faith in that same power and presence in the person that was asking for, looking for healing. So very often his question was, do you believe? Yes, Master, I believe. Then go your way. Your faith has made you whole. He was a master psychologist too. He knew what was going on, and he knew that for healing to occur, there had to be a peacefulness of mind and heart. There had to be a relaxation, a releasing and a letting go of the angst. So consequently, he would say things like, your sin is forgiven you. Take up your bed and walk. Go and sin no more. Because he could see a troubled mind, a troubled soul, a troubled heart. And he knew that we all want to feel forgiven, whether it would seem necessary or not. But that would be the desire in us all, to feel good enough, clean enough, worthy enough for the healing. So he'd look at some people and say, your sin is forgiven. Arise, go your way, you're healed. So forgiveness and faith were very important, but attached to that, all around it and all about it and shot through it, was gratitude. Before the healing would occur, Jesus would go to that inner awareness of the power and the presence of Spirit within him. He would go consciously into that state of knowing that there was an intuitive, active principle within him, and he would give thanks for that. He called it Father. Father, I give you thanks that you hear me. I give you thanks that you always hear me. Now, Lazarus, come forth. Now, the 5,000 were fed. I give you thanks for what we have, and out of that, all are fed. So where are we in the process of our healing? I mean, what's going on in us when we find and discover it has been revealed something to us for the healing of that something? Where are we in the process? Where do we go? Do we do like Jesus? Do we go to that power and that presence within us? Do we give thanks that we are always heard? Do we release and let go the angst and open ourselves up quietly to divine inspiration with regard to how we proceed, whether it's with the meditation or the medication or the pill or the prayer or the lotion or the potion or whatever it is? We'll be divinely led. But it's given to you and to me to do exactly that. Because as it is written, Jesus himself said, your Father takes no delight whatsoever in any one of these little ones being troubled in any way, hurt in any way. Indeed, it is the Father's great good desire, good will, that you should have life and have it in abundance. That's the only divine design for you and for me. Nothing else. Whatever else happens in our lives that's not according to life and abundance and joy complete and peace that passes understanding is our own human construction, nothing to do with the divine design for you and for me. It's our own doing. Troward would say that that happens because of the personal factor. He calls your ability and my ability to choose, to select, and to intuit something, the personal factor. And the personal factor means the way you and I choose to use the power of mind and emotion. That's the personal factor. We bring a personal factor to how we respond to life. And we can do that affirmatively or negatively or flatlining, kind of, in between, the kind of thing. So you have the power. The power is within you to handle anything that comes your way, to mend it, to fix it, to heal it, to release it, to attract it, to experience it, provided you get out of your own way, and I do likewise. I don't know about you, but very often I'm in my own way. Indeed I am. The beauty and grace of growing spiritually is you pick up on it very quickly. You know you're in your own way, and you know there's no one or nothing to blame except yourself, and then you don't even blame anymore because that doesn't help. So you say, Moira, get out of your way, please. Let Spirit do what Spirit can do by means of you, in you, through you, and as you. Just because we become more spiritually skilled doesn't mean that we become flawless in the sense that we don't make any more mistakes. Mark my word, you and I will be making mistakes while we're wearing this body on this three-dimensional plane. It's the way you and I learn on this plane. We make mistakes. It's okay. Now, the ancient old Anglo word for sin, spelled S-Y-N-E, is an archer's term, which you know by now, for missing the mark. When you hold back the arrow and you let it go and it doesn't even hit the bullseye, you miss the mark. It's a mistake. That's where that term comes from. And you and I are up to here in mistakes. But you and I have to have a sense of humor around it all. And say, okay, I blew it this time royally. Did I blow it? But I won't blow it again. Not in this way, I won't. I will learn from this. I will be divinely guided through this, and I will not have to revisit this. I will heal myself of this tendency of making this particular mistake. By the power, by the presence of Spirit within me that does the work. By the intuitive intelligence within me that slaps me up the side of the ear and says, you really want to do that? Is that what you really want to think? Is that how you really want to feel? Is that really what you want to experience? That's what the intuitive intelligence within us is saying. And I point to here because it's the intuitive intelligence is as much in this as it is in this. It's everywhere present within us. But we have to learn to trust it. But Scripture says, put me to the test, put me to the test, put me to the test, and see if you won't be greatly blessed as a consequence of that. So healing is a natural tendency, a natural condition. Nature heals. The doctors even will tell you, I stitch and God heals. Or as one French doctor said a long time ago, I bind up the wounds, but nature brings about the cure. So the medical field knows that there's something beyond them that helps out because they've had too many examples of things that they couldn't explain. That's beyond scientific explanation. Too many times healings have happened in a way that they don't understand and cannot explain. So, for you and I to be open and ready to receive the healing, that's already within us. Because healing is the revealing of the wholeness that we truly are. That's what it is. It's an inside job. It comes from the inside out. And the outside supports the inside. But here's where it begins. And here's where it's concluded. Within my own self. And so we have to provide ourselves with opportunities to be out of the busyment of the embodiment and to be still enough and quiet enough to hear that intuitive intelligence within ourselves, inspiring us, directing us, guiding us, wanting to help us to come to a good conclusion in the situation, whatever the situation is. So it is in quietude and silence shall your confidence be, says the scripture. Be still and know. Be still and know that the I amness of God is within you. Be still and know. So we do have to come to contemplation, to meditation, to pondering, to time out from all of the busyment and all of the crowdedness in mind, so that we can truly see whether or not, take, our temperature, whether or not we really believe, whether or not we really have trust and faith in something bigger than ourselves right where we are. Not in some wise person out there that's going to guide and direct me. That's all very nice, but at the end of the day, you're in this alone. Make no bones about it. You're in your own life alone. Yes, we walk the road of life alone together. But when it comes to you deciding your fate, when it comes to you deciding your life, you're the one that does it. It's up to you. You have the responsibility of a greater and wonderful life. If you step into the responsibility to get there, we have to know that healing, wholeness happens when I come to absolute faith in the creative process in my life. When I have no doubt about the fact that I am more than just my small self, that there's something amazing within me that has all power and all knowledge that is everywhere present. I have to get there to begin my process of healing and wholeness. And then I must move forward in that sense of a very close and conscious connection with that source of power, with my creator and the sustainer and the provider of my life and living. And then, in a relaxed state, find peacefulness. And out of the peacefulness, dissipate the fear, dissipate the doubt, and then go forward in full confidence, knowing that my good is there for me, and I am supposed to have it by divine decree. It is in the divine design for me to break through any challenge and to grow as a result of it. And it doesn't matter how I am or where I am right now, how awful I might feel or badly I have been behaving myself, that matters nothing. It's just a thought away, that change that will bring health and wholeness and wellness into my life and into my living, because I'm ready to see myself as my divine creator sees me, whole, perfect, and complete. Be you perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect. You are the image, you are the likeness of the creator of your being. And if we get that, if we own that, if we claim that, if we know that, then all is well. And so it is.
We invite you to experience Dr. Moira in person on Sundays. Our services are at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m., and childcare is available. Please join us. If you enjoy these messages and would like to make a donation to our center, please visit our website at redondocsl.org. Thank you for your support of this ministry.